ways to be able to deal with depression. You know, it was so many different things that I researched over years of time, and it helped me to manage. It helped me to get back into my body, because as a spiritual person, as a person who's done healing work over the years, and a highly sensitive person, I would take on other people's stuff, and I was trying to figure out what is going on with me. But really, it was not me. It's me dealing with all of these other things that are coming in. So cannabis helped me to just kind of get centered into my body and be able to process all of that energy and come to people in a loving way. So I'm super grateful for how that has transformed my experience. Let's see. Okay, it's 1:20. I feel like I need to wrap up. So I'll just briefly, I touched on heart coherence a little bit already, where I was talking about moving from the energy centers from the lower vibratory frequencies up to the higher vibratory frequencies. But when we are coming from the heart space, that is able to help us boost our immune health. Our microbiome is stronger, and we're able to do all kinds of things. Positive emotions really help us to make better decisions. And then we amplify our magnetic field so that we attract other amazing beings, such as, you know, all of you amazing people that are on this call today. Thank you so much again just for being here. When we talk about healing whole foods and herbal medicines, I'm so glad that, you know, Dr. Laura and Shira actually tapped into the power of recognizing that one thing does not work for everybody. So a part of what I do is in working with, can you get that for me, please? Thank you so much. A part of what I do is, you know, my initial conversation that I have with potential clients is we have a 15-minute clarity session. So in that 15 minutes, I'm able to actually figure out, do we resonate or not? Because I don't work with everybody. You know, I work with the willing. I work with people that are fully committed to their process of transformation and evolution. And then our second session, we actually sit down and talk about your particular composition. Like, what type of body do you have? What type of lifestyle do you live? What are you eating currently? You know what I mean? Like, I want to make it relevant for you, and not just kind of throwing things, because you can hear people talk about stuff all day. Oh, take this, do this, don't do that, don't eat that, eat, you know, all day long, and then you're just confused. So what I do is I work with people specifically where they are, and we go through a number of different questionnaires. I work with traditional Chinese medicine. I work with Ayurveda. I also work with Dr. Sebi's nutritional plan, and a number of other, you know, modalities that I use in my healing practice. But, you know, some of the herbs and healing foods that I've found that we'll also be talking about in Bliss Life 101 is, you know, we'll be talking about cacao. We'll be talking about maca, figs, avocado, emphasis on the we'll also be talking about mucuna and schizandra, you know, which are two, hey, right, I just posted something that said, do not, I don't remember exactly what it said, but something said something to the effect of, do not take any life advice from people who do not like avocados. Just don't even listen. It doesn't matter what they have to say. It does nothing. If you don't eat avocado, okay, I don't need to talk to you. So, so we'll be talking about all of those things. You know, we like to have fun. I keep it light. I keep it easy. And, you know, this is what I'm up to. This is, you know, if you want to know what's happening and what I'm doing, this is what I'm up to. Bliss Life 101. .eventbrite.com. That's coming up Friday, April 24th. And we're taking advantage of the nighttime hour. So it's going to be 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Pacific. So it's a 9-day process where we're going to kind of tap into some of the things that I've been talking about today. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have an event that I host with practitioners in the community, so that we can share our gifts and be able to let people know what we're doing. You know what I mean? What healing works do you have on? I want to partner with you so you can share and expand your audience beyond, you know, your circle. So I'm always looking for new own ritual facilitators. That's, again, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm on tonight with Guruji J. Ruhal. So we'll be talking about how to live healthy, opulent, and wise tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. And that's at omritual.eventbrite.com. Every Wednesday, I have a radio program called Mystic Zen, and that's on libradio.com. And you can also find it on YouTube under Kiti Obi Awadu. And on Facebook and IG, I'm hashtag, not hashtag, what is that? Is that hashtag? No. My handle, let me just keep it simple. My handle is Sacred and Juicy. And my website, I'm putting all this in the chat too, but for the people that are watching on Facebook, my website is sacredandjuicy.wordpress.com. And yeah, I think I am complete, Rich.
Okay, thank you.
This has been
I really
fantastic.
appreciate it. Yeah, it's been fantastic. If I can get you to unshare your screen.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so right now, can you guys hear me? Yeah, so right now we have our final presenter in this particular forum. I'm gonna bring on Makeda Valletta, but before she comes on, I have her video presentation and she's gonna come on right afterwards.
Everyone, my name is Makeda Valletta. I hope you all are doing well today. Just to let you know a little bit about me, I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science. And I work a lot in fitness, and I'm also a doula. So I do a lot of work with women's health, women's reproductive health, and womb-centered fitness, which a lot of people don't talk about, but this has to do with how fitness affects a woman's womb and uterus. Like, there are certain movements in fitness that is counterproductive for a woman's womb health and the positioning of her uterus. Having babies can affect that. And so that is also tied into my fitness approach. And when it comes to nutrition science, I'm very much into holistic nutrition. So getting things from the source as much as possible. So this is the reason why, cannabis therapeutics and using it medicinally has become a big interest of mine. Not just for the sports applications, like, certain injuries and pain, but also the effect that it has on the female reproductive system, also the male system too. And especially pertaining to how it can help women with painful sex and having more intense orgasms, because this is really important for so many reasons. You have a lot of women who, after childbirth, sex can be uncomfortable, and there are a number of reasons for that. That could be because of internal organs being out of place from childbirth, from C-sections or vaginal birth. It could be from ripping, from tearing. And you have a lot of women who have sexual trauma issues that can cause them to be rigid. You have painful menstrual cycles. So all of those things can play a role. And using cannabis oil topically can really help with that. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So, okay. So I, again, talking about my approach with nutrition and the body, and I believe in a holistic approach. So with that being said, I find in my research, I found that full spectrum cannabis oil is more effective than simply using CBD oil, okay? And that's because the THC also has very powerful healing properties, and in a lot of ways is more potent than CBD. We have THC binds to both the CB1 and the CB2 receptors, okay? And it has a higher affinity for the CB1 receptors. CBD does not have the same affinity for both receptors. And sometimes it may suppress the CB1 and CB2 activity, but it can increase the activity of other cannabinoids, okay? And also increases it interacting with non-cannabinoid receptors as well. So of course CBD does have its properties, but THC is even more healing and has a stronger affinity for both receptors. Of course THC is more plentiful in marijuana, as CBD is more plentiful in hemp. The vaginal canal, okay, the vaginal canal is very absorbent. Our skin in general is very absorbent. So anything that we put in our skin can easily get into our blood, okay? So we never want to put anything on our skin that we cannot ingest. And so the vaginal tissues are even more absorbent than the rest of the skin in our body. So the vaginal canal has always been a important place to absorb medicine into the body. There are many studies about absorbing medicine vaginally. So with women, it's really important that we maintain our bacterial flora and our pH in our vaginal canal. It's very important to be careful about what we put in it. And coconut oil, okay, coconut oil itself is very antimicrobial. It's very potent antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial oil. It's very high in lauric acid. So combining that with cannabis, which also is very antimicrobial and antibacterial. Combining those two and then rubbing it on the vulva so it can be massaged onto the vulva. So here's some here. Some of it is still, some of it's liquid in here. Some of it's a little bit solid. It's coconut oil, cannabis infused coconut oil by a company called Miracle Nut out of Detroit. The woman or her partner can put some on the finger and massage it on the vulva, massage it on the clitoris on the vulva. Also can be used internally in the vaginal canal. And that can be done also with fingers, or it can be put on a cucumber, or people who, I don't know about, people know about yoni eggs or nani eggs or crystal stone eggs that women work with internally to help strengthen the vaginal canal. That's another thing that I teach, that I have been teaching since 2007, is a class to women, teaching women how to strengthen their vaginal muscles and get more control. And one of the ways that that's done is by using yoni eggs. But the oil can be put on that as well and then inserted. And so cannabis oil helps to increase the circulation of blood, okay, to an area. So it increases the blood flow. And it does this in men and women. So a lot of the studies will say that it doesn't really have any effect on the male system. But in my, small research observations in my personal life and also people who I know, I've heard and seen the opposite, where massaging it on a man's phallus as well, helps increase the circulation of blood, okay? Helps increase the blood flow to the penis. It definitely helps to increase the blood flow to a woman's vulva. And of course, when we're aroused, that's what happens. And that helps, that's what makes sex feel comfortable. It helps us become lubricated. And for women, if we don't have that blood flow, having sex before a woman is ready, like sometimes you have men who are partners who want to go straight to penetration and are not good at warming the woman up. This oil is really good for that. Some people have partners where they may already be in a partnership, in a marriage, things change, sex changes, and maybe that person is not doing a good job warming them up. And you have a lot of women who have uncomfortable sex in silence. So massaging the oil onto the vulva really helps a woman to relax. It helps that area to relax, as well as increasing the blood flow to the vaginal canal, okay? And it increases sensitivity as well. It does increase sensitivity. The oil can be warmed up a little bit. It doesn't have to be, but I find that when you warm it up a little bit, sitting it in some hot water and then rubbing it, it can help absorb even more. And of course, warmth also increases the blood flow. It can also be ingested. So you can put some of the oil into some tea or whatever you're drinking, and it can have effects that way as well. There are many women I've known for sure over the years who said that smoking marijuana helps them to have more intense orgasms. We have CBD, we have CB1 and CB2 receptors all over our body, and they're definitely plentiful in the female reproductive organ. And so even ingesting it, the only difference is that if you ingest the oil, it will affect the THC in your blood. If you put it on topically, it will not. So if you use the oil topically, it will not affect your THC levels. And it won't give you a high feeling. If you ingest it, it will affect your THC levels and it can give you a high feeling.